Statues and monuments have been around for the longest of times. From ancient civilizations to modern cultures, these sculptures are a good way of showing an artist's talent as well as to commemorate something or someone. But not all of these sculptures are, well, normal. There are some which are truly weird. Let us take a look at some of the most bizarre sculptures found in the world. Number 13. Grand Elephant Dret. When you think of animals that should fly, an elephant is obviously the last on your mind because of the fact that they are just very heavy. But that did not stop a Spanish artist from having his share of fun when he built a 5-ton solid bronze sculpture of an elephant that looks like it has managed to balance itself on the tip of its trunk. As gravity-defying as the statue looks, it's also extremely cute. The statue can be found in Barcelona and was put up in 2009. The Grand Elephant Dret actually means Great Elephant Standing, and while it may not actually be standing, it is still showing off some amazing balance. One cannot help but feel the playfulness of the elephant and maybe even join in on all the fun. Number 12. Die Varkapellen. When you go to Brussels in Belgium, you will get a quick chance to click quite a few humorous photographs yourself. The reason for that is the Die Varkapellen statue. The statue is actually a depiction of a person emerging from a manhole and grabbing the legs of a policeman so that he ends up tripping and falling. The mid-action sculpture has been done very tastefully by Tom Frantzen, who has a taste for witty statues, be it the expression on the face of the policeman or his highly acrobatic pose. The statue does give rise to quite a lot of witty captions. Number 11. Headington Shark. Some people just have weird taste. There is nothing that can explain away their choices, and if you happen to pass through some of the old houses in Headington, England, you will come across one such sculpture. It is a massive, 25 feet fiberglass shark that is seen crashing headfirst into a homely British building. Apparently, it was built as a monument to the Nagasaki bombing. But why a shark, we ask? The neighbors obviously wanted the oddity removed, but an appeal in the court was actually turned down. Kind of a blessing though, as many people from around the world come here every year to see the shark. The house is now on rent, with the owners demanding that the tenants be open to people asking questions about the shark and photographing it. But surprisingly, they demand that no pets be allowed in the house. We wonder if it's because that they think pets will become food for the shark. Number 10. Ball Weevil Monument. While it is the norm to erect statues for people who are famous and influential, a look at the Ball Weevil Monument will make you wonder for sure. After all, why would an insect deserve a statue? Apparently, the citizens of Enterprise, Alabama think the insect is rather important, and there is a statue where you can see a woman holding up a large ball weevil above her head. The story goes that the farmer here used to grow cotton, but when the ball weevil infestation started destroying the crops, the farmers had to start growing peanuts, a move which turned out to be very beneficial. Number 9. Carhenge. We have all heard of the Stonehenge and how they remain one of the greatest enduring mysteries of all time. But in the grassy plains of Alliance, Nebraska, there is a strange monument which is sort of a homage to the Stonehenge, but also to cars. It is called the Carhenge and is a memorial to some of the classic American cars. The cars can be seen in a circle with their noses buried in the ground. But that's not the end of it. There are more cars balanced on top of those cars, and the arrangement is exactly like the Stonehenge. And what's even more fascinating is that this monument attracts over 80,000 visitors every year. Number 8. Jeju Loveland. Imagine a park where over 140 tantalizing statues await you. Poetically called Jeju Loveland, these monuments were made to honor sexual acts. The thought behind these statues was to break down the barriers and taboo surrounding sex, and one cannot really fault that logic. The park is roughly the size of 2 soccer fields, and it has become quite a talked about place, especially for the newlyweds. Well, as far as intents go, this one deserves all the accolades. Number 7. Las Colinas Mustangs. Horses are magnificent creatures who have been man's companion for a long time. From riding to warfare, horses have been used for their endurance and speed. So it is not such a surprise that there would be monuments constructed for horses. And one of the largest groups of sculpted horses that can be found in the world are in Texas, USA. Known as the Mustangs of Las Colinas, these bronze statues show horses, which are actually 1.5 times the size of real ones, running through water. The entire sculpture is beautiful and breathtaking to say the least. And what makes it even more alluring is the fact that there are special foundations built near the feet of the horses which shoot out water in such a way as it looks as if the horses are actually running in the water. An impressive addition to a wonderful sculpture, we say. Number 6. Knotted Gun Sculpture. When John Lennon was shot to death, it brought the whole world to a standstill. One of the most famous musicians to have ever lived and an outspoken peace activist, John Lennon's death was a shock to many around the world, which was why a sculpture was made towards the end of 1980 in his memory, and to remind everyone that guns should not be available as freely as they are. The sculpture is of a knotted Colt python, and has since then become a symbol of the non-violent project as well. And what's more is that there are 22 copies of this sculpture all over the world. And all we can say is, well, give peace a chance. Number 5. The force of nature. Mother Nature is a beautiful thing, and as lovely as her beauty is, there is also a terrible side to her. When unleashed, forces of nature make humans realize just how insignificant they really are. And it was to pay tribute to the fearsome side of nature that an Italian sculptor did a series of sculptures called the Force of Nature. These statues are made from bronze, stainless steel, and aluminium, and are full of life and energy. They depict Mother Nature hurling around our planet Earth in circles. Installed in many places around the Earth, the sculpture reminds us that nature, although loving and caring, can unleash a load of destruction, which we are just not capable of handling. The sculptures are truly thought-provoking and are also infinitely amazing to look at. Number 4. Traffic tree light. Traffic lights are an integral part of our lives today. And while almost all of us have ignored it from time to time, there is no denying that it is one of the most important devices that we have today. So, naturally, someone would decide to build a monument to it. And if you happen to walk down near Billingsgate Market in London, you will see it. The monument is actually 8 meters tall and contains 75 sets of streetlights, each of which are controlled by a computer. The ever-changing lights are supposed to mimic the never-ending rhythm of life. But, of course, initially it did confuse a lot of motorists, but now it has become a pretty popular sight for locals and tourists alike. Number 3. Shoes on the Danube. The saddest thing that the Second World War brought with it was the massacre of the Jews at the hands of Hitler. It was a ghastly period in human history, and we should all hope that such a shadow never falls on us again. It was perhaps that which prompted a sculpture in Budapest, Hungary. The Shoes on the Danube, as it is popularly called, is a sculpture which was built in honor of the Hungarian Jews who were murdered by the fascist militia during the Second World War. The story goes that the Jews were asked to open their shoes and were then shot near the edge of the water so that their bodies would be washed away. The sculpture is basically reminiscent of the shoes, which were the only thing they left behind as they took the final swim in the Danube. The Shoes of the Danube is a haunting memory of the mistakes we made in the past and is a firm reminder that those atrocities should not be forgotten. Number 2. Maman. If spiders freak you out, as they should, then it would be a good idea to avoid this London sculpture at all costs. Why would anyone commission such a ghastly piece of work is beyond us, but it exists. And it is a rather imposing one as well. The Maman is 30 feet high and 33 feet wide, and it's one of the largest structures of its kind. It is also one of the heaviest, being made out of stainless steel, bronze, and marble. The structure is owned by the Tate Museum in London, but for some reason, they did not think the sculpture was better off freaking people out at just one place. So, the Mammon has been traveling the world since 1999. Better watch out, or you just might come across this spooky structure in your city. Number 1. The Kelpies. Horses are ever a subject of our fascination, and the Kelpies are no different. These are giant 30-meter-high statues of the heads of a couple of horses, which can be seen in Falkirk, Scotland. The sculpture commemorates the role of horses in the development of the region, as they were used in both agriculture and industry. They are made up of individually crafted pieces of stainless steel and weigh over 300 tons each. And with so much effort put in to make it, it is good to know that the Kelpies have become one of the most well-regarded, large-scale modern sculptures in the world. Have you ever seen any of these statues in real life? Or know of any other equally strange and wonderful statues? If so, do let us know in the comments section below. And remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on all of our videos.